If you happened to catch this full video yesterday when it was originally posted, you don't need to watch this again, obviously. YouTube, though, blocked it for some reason. Sometimes they have an issue when videos get to 14, 15 minutes. So I took out a few clips. I'm going to try to hold my breath a little better and breeze through this. Let's take a look at Steph Curry's gravity, the impact he has that shows up in the box score with his shots and his assists, but also the impact that doesn't show up in the box score with his spacing, his movement, and how much of a threat he is to the defense. Make sure you follow on Twitter at ScoutWithBryan for some cool extras. And let's dive in again. Steph Curry's gravity, first and foremost. You'll see a lot of this play in this video. Steph's going to hit Draymond on top, kind of cut through, and then it's going to end up being a single wide pin down on the opposite side. I want you just to watch how brilliant Steph's setup is, coming off all these pin downs, so fundamental. If you're a guard that plays basketball, if you're a pickup player, if you're a shooter, whatever it is, just watch the way he maneuvers coming off screens with Van Fleet guarding him here. Watch, he's going to plant hard underneath, stop. Watch how he kind of lulls him to sleep, right? He's going to act like, oh, I'm just stopping for a second. I'm just going to complain to the ref. Oh, he's grabbing me, whatever. And the second Van Fleet relaxes just for a millisecond, stands up straight just for a millisecond. That's all Steph needs then. Push off slightly, get a little edge on him, and now he's open. And what happens when he comes open? Well, let's watch. Who's guarding Draymond originally? Kawhi right here. Kawhi sees the ball come off to the middle, so he goes to help a little bit. Then he sees Steph come off the screen, relatively open. Now he really goes to help. So now what happens to Draymond? He's just going to sneak right behind everybody. As the defense is so concerned about Steph coming off this pin, Draymond's going to get an uncontested dunk. As you watch it one more time all the way through, watch again the change of speeds, the constant herky-jerky start and stop. Great vision to find Draymond, who becomes open from Steph's movement. On top of that, then we do have some of the traditional screen assists. So that's a lot of these back picks. Usually when Draymond has the ball up top, back pick, rip screen for Klay Thompson. Does a great job really screening Lowry's body right there. Enough to free Klay for the open shot. This look they got in game 1, too. This exact same play, basically. Shaun Livingston coming down on a back pick. Again, this is all created by the threat of Steph. When he sets back picks, his man's not able to give any help basically off of them. We saw this a ton when I was with the Wizards with Bradley Beal, game planning against Kyle Korver, guys that are elite shooters like that. Usually when your man's screening, you're supposed to do the helping, but Van Fleet is so worried about getting back to Steph as a shooter, he doesn't give any help on this back pick here, which ends up opening Shaun Livingston right to the rim and a great feed by Draymond. Here's basically that initial play again. This set's called Dribble. I've posted this on Twitter a few times. And watch again just the setup on it. As Steph hard plants underneath, stops, holds him off, flies off. And then look, this one doesn't show up in the box score at all. But watch what this creates. Siakam, who's guarding the ball, look at him. He's completely tilted towards worried about Steph coming off the pin down. So he basically just leaves the ball, opening up the drive for Iguodala. What that creates then is Marc Gasol has to make a decision. Do I stay with Jerebko or do I step up to stop Iguodala? He steps up just briefly, which opens up the dump-off pass. Again, doesn't show up for Steph, all because of him, though. Steph ends up getting trapped on this early drag. He ends up back-cutting. And then the Warriors love this kind of constant movement. When they hit Iguodala or hit Draymond up at top, Steph loves to cut through and end up coming off these little pinch screens. But watch on his cut again, how he's just kind of going slow, nice and slow. I'm out of the play here. But it's an automatic in their offense for Jerebko to go set the screen here. Steph comes off shoulder to shoulder, and then look at this perfectionism. Left, right, inside foot. Left, right, plant, elevate, 10 toes to the rim. Fundamental, perfect. This one was more an example of Klay's gravity even. I'll give him some credit too. You talk about obviously two of the best shooters in the game, the Splash Brothers. Toronto's so worried about Klay coming off this pin down. You see Van Fleet even pointing right here. Klay's coming off the pin. You see the whole defense worried about this right here. Gasol worried about the pin. So what ends up happening is Kawhi, who's guarding Draymond, he's even worried about giving a little help over here. So he's so far off Draymond that Draymond's going to go, I'm not even sure if this was part of the play, but he's going to go instead and set this pick and roll for Steph. Steph with a hard right to left cross, kind of again lulls Van Fleet to sleep, like he's passing over there. Now he's going to come off the screen, and with Kawhi all the way back there, that's plenty of space for Steph to do his damage. This was the famous cyclone play, an after timeout play, which they ran to perfection again, showing Steph's back pick and how that opens things up. Danny Green guarding Steph this time once again. Supposed to be the help guy if he sets the back pick, but he's so worried about Steph coming off these screens or coming up to the top that he's going to give no help whatsoever. So Golden State, whenever they have Steph set these back picks, they usually end up getting these layups. This running in transition, how does Draymond get this layup right here? Well, again, it's no assist, it's no screen assist, but it's all caused by Steph. Watch Kyle Lowry right here. Stay with Steph in transition and allow Draymond to run right past him. To be honest, I can't even fault Lowry because analytically, yeah, you probably want to live with a layup, even if it's contested a little bit over a Steph wide open three. But that's the kind of decisions you have to make against Golden State. Do you want to give up wide open layups or wide open threes? Here's that cut through play again. Hits Draymond up top. First play we saw, cut through, end up coming off this pin down. And watch again the gamesmanship. He's going to sprint, then hard plant, stop on a dime, knock him off balance. Now we're just reading the big. Ibaka helps up the line just a little bit. And Ibaka has to give this tiny bit of help just up the line to stop Steph on a pin down. That's an automatic then dump off, especially to a guy like Bogut, who's a great lob guy. Great little touch lob pass. Steph gets the assist, but again, his movement, his skills create all that. Here's that famous tap knee play that I've talked about a few times. This side pick and roll with Steph and Draymond. What happens here? Draymond slips out of it, so Van Fleet, just for a second, isn't squared up to Steph. Enough room for Steph to get by, and now we have Ibaka coming over to stop the ball. Lowry coming over to stop the ball. McKinney wide open in the corner. Long closeout for Lowry. Ends up being an assist for Steph, but all created by, again, the attention he draws. Here's another one that doesn't show up in the box score. The step-up screen for Draymond in transition. You see Van Fleet again, normally supposed to show, hedge, give some help. Hardly able to do any of that because he's so worried about getting back to Steph. That Draymond then is by Siakam, so Ibaka has to come over, which now creates on the weak side the 2-on-1. Great extra pass by McKinney to Cook, and of course Van Fleet is not able or even thinking about rotating off Steph. Quinn Cook gets a wide open three. Here's that side pick and roll play again. This time they're going to switch it. But what happens? Just for a millisecond, Van Fleet's going to try to go over this screen because it's Steph. And if you're going to switch, you really have to go under. By going over right here, Draymond has a beat on him just for a second. So Steph's going to hit him on the roll. And then that's when Draymond becomes the best short roll lob passer of all time. Reads the help coming over. Again, created by the attention that Steph drew. Same play yet again. Yep, watch how Steph keeps in constant motion on the switch here. He's going to attack Siakam's feet, draw three defenders, flip it to Draymond, and then watch the gamesmanship again. Draymond, one of the highest IQ players in the league too, is just going to fake this little flip to his right, which is going to cause Powell to relax just for a millisecond, which you don't want to do against Steph because he's going to be able to set his feet and find the three deep behind the line. Here's the back pick yet again. Cousins with a great pass. Livingston, great cutter. Does a good job finishing these. But Steph, again, all he has to do is get a little piece. Danny Green, again, is not helping off any. Ends up creating another layup. Here we see a high pick and roll where Steph ends up getting trapped about 40 feet from the basket. 2 on the ball. What does this create? A 4-on-3. Right here. Bogut does a good job reading it. We're going to see Livingston's the open guy. He hits him before Kawhi can get back to him. So Livingston now has a head of steam on Kawhi, puts the ball down, then Fleet has to step up off Draymond, opening up the lob. Again, how does this show up in the box score? Well, it's not a hockey assist. It's really the pass leading to the hockey assist, so it doesn't show up at all. But again, caused by having 2 on the ball and all the attention that Steph creates. Remember that fake pass Draymond showed earlier? Here it is again, but this time he's going to fake it to Steph, which has the impact of forcing Lowry and forcing Gasol to both be still running out to the corner, which is going to allow Draymond to put the ball down, get ahead of steam, more help to come over, and open up again this lob pass to Bogut. Here's the last example. The only thing I'll do, this famous janky box and one. Yes, very janky. Yes, something I don't remember seeing in the NBA for a long, long time, but for any lineups tonight with Steph, with Clay out, I would expect to see it again because, to be honest, it did work pretty well. It's not a thing you practice against. It's not a thing the Warriors have a lot of plays to run against. But just one thing to look out for. This was after a timeout, something I would expect Golden State to try again. This is fist up. It's a play they run. Decoy, high pick and roll. It's really a pin down play for Steph, though. What ends up happening in this version, you see Siakam is guarding the top of that box, but he's so worried again about Steph coming off this pin down that he's going to turn his back almost completely to the ball and Draymond, which is going to allow Draymond to attack that gap in the top of it. Van Fleet, again, is playing the end one part of the box, so he's still sticking to Steph. And now when Draymond gets by this initial top level of defense, Gasol has to come over, and what does this create? A 2-on-1. So theoretically, the dump-off pass to Cousins should have been wide open, really was wide open. Cousins doesn't do a great job, though, meeting the ball and getting there in time, so it's out of bounds off him. But look for Golden State to try things like that more tonight if we see the box and one yet again. Thanks for watching. Steph Curry's Gravity. Please share this link on Reddit, Real GM, forums, whatever Golden State you love, whatever Toronto you love. Please post it, share it around, spread the word. Take a look at Steph Curry's Gravity and how Toronto's having trouble with it. Thumb up, subscribe. Appreciate you watching. Talk to you guys again soon after Game 3.